Hello, everyone. I am coming on with a message, a channeled message, actually, with what's happening, what's going on. These messages keep coming through, so I thought I'd sit down and record them. I am working on some zodiac sign readings. I've uploaded some. I've already recorded others. They'll be uploaded this week. Now, with what's going on universally, it is safe to say that the feminine energy has risen. Okay, we've been getting many messages in the past few years about the feminine is rising. Right now, I can say she has risen. She is up front and center. So this is going to show up in your life in a different way depending on where you are in your journey or how you chose to experience your journey, and if you're even on a journey, right? If you are in the space where you're wanting to evolve, if you're wanting to become the best version of yourself, that's what we consider the journey. Those who are wanting to feel that sense of meaning, sense of purpose, etc. The feminine has risen. The energies right now to support that feminine who has risen, what's happening for her is matters of the heart are going to be very important to those of you who are experiencing your feminine energy rising. Matters of the heart is going to be very important to you. Now, it seems like I feel like they're almost shoving love in your face. Like, that's how I see it. It's almost being, I don't want to say forced on you, because you have the ability to receive it or to reject it. It's up to you. Everything is choice. But it's going to be almost everywhere. And the message is that it is safe. Right now, if love or romantic encounters are occurring, you're in a safe kind of bubble to experience it. So it's not the same as it used to be like a few years when the masculine energy was up front and center. It's the feminine. She has risen, so she has taken that place. She's up front and center. And the same type of energy that came to you when the masculine was up front and center is being presented or represented, okay? Because it's going to show up for everyone differently. For some of you, it's going to be new love. For others, it's going to be either a past love or a familiar person. So it could be someone who's already in your life, and you'll feel some type of renewed energy in your relationship. Some of you might have people coming back from the past, and others is going to be new love, and there's going to be a sense of familiarity with that person, like a past life soulmate, love at first sight, that type of thing. Now, it's saying that it is safe because it's the feminine who's up front, and she has a handle on matters of the heart, or when it comes to emotional faculties, she's in charge. So that's why it's safe. With all of that being said, the way it shows up in your life may make you think that there's going to be some chaos. There's going to be conflict, especially if you're a thinker, especially if you're someone who needs to make sense of things, especially if you're someone who like to ask questions like why, and you want to investigate. Just remember, the feminine doesn't work that way. That's the masculine trying to come back, trying to take control of the situation, or just trying to, honestly, trying to protect you, because that's what the masculine does for the feminine. So that energy of thinking, trying to make sense, it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just how you're used to operating. But the feminine, she wants you to know She got this. Almost like, I don't need you to protect me right now, but I know that you're only doing this to help me. Okay, she understands why the thinking, why the questions, why it may not feel safe, but just know you are venturing into a new space. And it does require, going with the flow, a little bit of vulnerability. It requires inner strength. It requires the courage. And many of you are going to experience this through like romantic feelings, like through your heart fluttering and feelings rising that you want to explore. And if you're coming from healing like codependencies, and all that means is feeling like you need a person to feel complete, or feeling like you need something outside of yourself to feel complete. If you're coming from healing that, the masculine is going to come in and try to make sense of it, is going to try to understand it, is going to try to logically, it's like I was saying, making a chart, pros and cons, and whichever list is longer, that's the side. Like, that's what I'm getting. And that's just not how the feminine works. She flows. So it's more like stay in the present moment. As things come up, you deal with them. So with where we are, many fated events, it almost feels like chance and good chance, serendipitous moments. So many of you will be having some very chance meetings. Certain things will happen and you feel like, wow, if I wasn't here at that time, or if I didn't answer the phone, or it almost feels like one little small second, if I missed that red light, or if I didn't pick up the paper to look what was under it, I could have missed it. It almost feels like luck is on your side and it's working in your favor. As certain things arise, because there will be certain things that occur, and these things might come up as like obstacles, hurdles you have to jump over. As those things come, just keep going, don't stop. You will experience a lot of no's, right? So you'll experience where you try to do something, you get a no, or it doesn't come out the way you wanted. And then you try again, and then it's the same thing. No, and it doesn't come out. Like, that's going to happen. That's a part of this energy. When that happens, don't stop. Keep going. Because if you believe, as long as you are on that, knowing that you deserve this and you're on the right path, you are fine. So you want to remain in the mindset of like, this is happening for me. Nothing's going to stop it. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. So the energy of desire is going to be very strong right now. It's going to be very prevalent. That energy is coming up because they're wanting you to want something so bad that you can't stop that feeling of desiring something, of wanting something. So there's going to be like this passion-filled want. It might even show up as lust or a fire, a flame that you can't stop. And it's something you want so bad and you feel like you deserve it. That energy is there so that you don't stop. Another energy that's going to be very helpful is appreciation with where you are, with what you're experiencing and what you have already experienced. The energy of gratefulness is going to be very helpful because there is a reward at the end. And the reward, it feels like a blissful feeling. It feels like your moment. Like everything you're doing is not in vain. So don't stop. You'll find that You'll find that you'll be alone a lot. Many of you are going to find that you're either being moved away, so you might be traveling a lot, or you're not in one constant place. That there's a reason for that. They're trying to remove you from your usual environments, from the usual people you're around, or the usual people that has access to you. So I'm seeing distance. You're going to find yourself by yourself a lot, where you have to sit with your own thoughts, your own feelings, and the things you used to do to, I guess, distract you from feeling your feelings or sitting with your own thoughts. You're not going to have access to those. So I just see a distance. I see you either moving away or people moving away from you. So your social circles, your environment, they're not going to be the same. New encounters are going to happen. They're opening the door to romance here. So a lot of romantic situations are ending so that new ones can begin. There are some people who are not leaving certain romantic situations because they're either not ready or they don't feel like they're prepared. And that's a different journey. Okay, that's another journey. I'm getting a message here for those who there are new romantic encounters is what they're sharing. Okay. Yeah, these are new people coming in or people coming back. Now, there's a way to measure where you are. The way they're saying this is those who have been primarily in their masculine energy, or if you consider yourself to be primarily masculine, right now, you're going to have issues when it comes to like feeling supported or feeling like you have a strong bond with someone. So it's going to be matters of the heart that is really affecting you because they're trying to allow you to let the feminine take control. And when I say feminine, masculine, I'm talking about each of you as an individual. I feel like I always have to say this, but let me just repeat it. The masculine, when I say masculine, I'm not only saying male or a man, right, gender. I'm speaking of your masculine energy, the part of you that takes action, the part of you that makes things happen, the part of you that is active, okay? And when I say feminine, I'm not talking about a woman or a female. I'm speaking on your feminine energy, the one that is more intuitive, the one that feels, the emotional part of you, the one that flows and allows itself to just be vulnerable, the feminine. That's what I'm speaking of. So if you have been primarily in your action-oriented space, right, your masculine energy, trying to make things happen, trying to make money, trying to be stable, trying to find security, that's masculine. If you've been primarily there, you're going to find yourself in a space where you're feeling maybe lonely, or you feel like there's, you want a connection or a bond or someone to love. That feeling is going to be very prominent because your feminine is trying to rise, okay? Others, if you've primarily just been a nurturer, you've been primarily in your emotional capacities, and all of the other things are provided for you, like all the things you need to be stable has always been provided. Right now, you might be dealing with hostilities around finances. So you might be dealing with your finances are not okay because your masculine is trying to rise. So some of you are experiencing different things, or many of you are experiencing this in different ways. So if your feminine has already risen and you've already gone through that energy, your masculine right now is trying to take a little bit more of a lead, and it's trying to work on getting stability for you. And this is mainly for those of you who are learning to be a little bit more independent and less codependent. So if you're dealing with financial constraints or just worries around money, just know you're learning to really stand on your own and learning to protect yourself, and you're learning to create your healthy boundaries and know what's best for you. Overall, your feminine is looking for a healthy masculine, and you have to find that within first. So you're learning to discern between a healthy partner for you or what's not healthy. Those of you who are dealing with financial constraints. Wow, that's interesting how they just said that. Okay. Some of you are dealing with both. And that's the more difficult, more narrow path. You might find yourself feeling lonely and financial constraints. That's a whole different level of evolution. And what this means is your masculine and feminine has been working together, and they're learning to balance with each other. So it's almost like an intermittent back and forth between the two. So many of you, what's happening is a union. The union within you is happening. The masculine and feminine, they're learning to work together. Okay. All right. So those who are coming from a healthy masculine, or you're coming from just being primarily masculine, actually, not healthy masculine, just masculine. Those who are coming from that and the feminine is rising, she's kind of having a hard time with your overbearing masculine energy, because he's not, or it's not, because it's not gender specific. The masculine energy within you is just, it needs control. It wants to be in control. So some of you may be fighting feelings that you have. And if that happens, a mediator will come in. How that shows up in your life is things start happening that are out of your control. Okay, so they're kind of showing you how this is going to show up in your life if you don't succumb to what's occurring within you. Because I'm seeing a lot of despair, I'm seeing worry, I'm seeing concern. And then those who can allow things to take the natural course, there's a great fortune that occurs. So confidence is what you're going to need here. And don't let your past hold you back. Be very mindful of the things that you've experienced in the past and creating belief systems based on what happened to you. That's where this is going. Because this happened to me in the past, I believe this going forward. That type of mindset can be a block. It can create a block. So confidence is necessary. And that's why they keep saying don't stop. Even if you get no's, if you keep getting no's, don't stop, because you got to keep going. Okay. They're awakening all of your senses. And the way they do that is through romance, through a romantic situation. So there's going to be a lot of love messages that are coming out right now, because there's a part of you that's awakening. And the way your senses awaken is through a romantic encounter or situation. So it's leading you literally to everything you wanted. Like, I'm seeing all your wishes come true, but it seems like you're going to have to rise above the dark days. The whole atmosphere here is like the lights are off. It's very dim, so it's pretty dark. Okay, this whole message just took me through like a tunnel. And it's like as you go through these experiences, you're going through a dark tunnel. And then finally, when you make it out, you have risen. Yeah, the feminine. Risen above the dark days. and she made it through. And that's basically how I'm getting it. Many of you, your feminine is like walking through a tunnel. It's dark and it's lonely. Your masculine is like following her. Like she told him she didn't need him to come. But it's following her. And every time something scary approaches, or every time that side of you, the masculine side of you, sees that the feminine is maybe at risk of being hurt, the masculine tries to jump in, and feminine keeps having to tell it to like, step back, I got this, I'm okay. I know you're doing this because you're just trying to protect me, but we have to both be able to find balance within ourselves. So this is how the marriage occurs between the masculine and feminine within you. It's when each person can take that walk through that valley of the shadow of death and make it out. Make it out on its own. And it's the feminine that's doing it now. So once the feminine comes out, the union occurs. That's when the balance occurs. That's when you become whole. So this is how the feminine rises. Many of you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable and know that you're okay, you're safe. This helps heal a lot of family issues. It helps heal many, like I'm seeing levels to this. Some of you have codependencies, abandonment issues is showing up. Others have shame, guilt, regrets. There's so much sadness here that's being cleared. It's being healed. And it's when the feminine is given the opportunity to take this journey. And the feminine's journey is more on a romantic vibe, right? It's more of a theme of romance and falling in love. The masculine's journey is more on finances or having enough stability and security to feel stable. So the masculine's journey is usually about, or it shows up in the 3D as like making money, going to work, paying bills, having assets, material gains. The feminine's journey is having a real love, or finding true love, and having true romantic feelings, and feeling comfortable enough to express them, and feeling safe enough to fall in love. And as each individual, man or woman, male or female, as each of us are able to experience both sides of life, being able to provide for yourself successfully and being able to find a healthy partner that you can trust and love, that's when you as an individual become whole. And this journey is done independently before you meet or attract that partner. This is usually when people start meeting their twin flame. This is when you meet someone who it just makes sense. So there's changes that I'm seeing for the feminine. The feminine energy right now is going through changes, so this is showing up in romance. The masculine energy right now is being asked to allow the feminine to do this. And as the feminine does this, the marriage happens within. And this is when you come out of that dark tunnel. And that's where the abundance waits for you. That's where the sun shines. So, wow, there's a balance happening here. There's balance for each person who's going on this journey. Okay. And that's what I'm getting. So this is about letting your feminine rise and allowing the changes to occur. Okay. This needs to be done with a loyal heart. So your heart has to be in the right place. This is not a journey you can trick your way through. There's no way to trick energy. Energy is just what it is. It's either pure or it's not. So many of you are going through this journey. And as you go through this journey, you're awakening your senses. And there is a part of you within that's waking up. It's being activated. And this is how your feminine rises. Okay? All right, so that's basically what I'm getting, or what I'm being called to relay here. Yeah. So matters of the heart seem to be up front and center here. Okay? All right. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll have the rest of the zodiac sign readings up tomorrow. Okay? Alrighty. You guys have a good one.